Yo, it's Sway.
Sway.
Sway. Sway.
Sway.
Sway.
Sway.
In the morning.
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 Only on Shade 45.
Wake your fuck ass up.
Yeah. Bitches.
Welcome to the show, Al.
Every day.
Great coverage of the Olympics.
Thank you. We had a great time at the Olympics.
You guys did an excellent job, man. I wish I could have been there with you.
I'm not so sure I feel the same way, but but I'm glad you watched.
Okay, great. No, it was excellent, man. It was a great coverage. You guys always do. You know, there's been recent rumors around the rumor mill that the cast of the Today Show's rallying around Matt because people say he was the reason.
Yeah, which is such BS. I mean,
talk about that.
He
man.
did not. Yeah, look, Matt did not get Ann Curry fired or anything like that. That was a decision that's made above our pay level. And by the way, we all love Ann. And by the way, Ann, as people who've been watching, seen she's been back several times doing the stories that she does. She just interviewed the Syrian president. She's been on the border of Syria and Turkey. Those are the stories she lives for. And so, that's what she's going to be doing. But no, I mean, you get these websites that they kind of they put something out there, and there's a lot of lazy journalism out there. Somebody sees that this website said it, so they report it by saying so and so said. I mean,
we do that sometimes.
Well, but the difference is you guys aren't pretending to be news people.
Okay,
you're entertainers. You're out having a good time.
I do MTV News, but that's
I understand that.
But over there,
but that's over there.
Yeah,
that's over here. Over here, it's a different deal. It's a different deal. Okay, there, Snooki pays your bill.
Okay,
here, it's Slim Shady.
Exactly.
Have you ever actually met him?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No, I'm joking.
Okay. Of course you've met him.
It's a good friend.
Of course, good friend. He just as he drove by and he rolled the window down and waved. Fantastic. It's great. It's really good that he does that. But seriously, the show is the show. And guess what? The Today Show has been a show that as all the morning shows have have transitions. And look, it's been tough. It's been a very difficult transition.
How has Savannah, not to cut you off, Savannah? How has she handled that?
It's been tough for her, you know. I mean, because look, she loves Ann. She worked with Ann. She knew Ann. Nobody wants to get their job in that manner. Yeah. But that said, she's got the job, and I think people give her a chance. They'll see that she's a smart woman. She's an attorney. She covered the White House. She covers politics. She's terrific.
Yeah, she's great. You guys are now presently in the morning race. Are you number one?
We're number two. We're number two right now.
How big is the
it goes back and forth. It was fairly substantial a few weeks ago, and we've shrunk that. And I think as time goes on, we'll continue to shrink it. And look, we're not satisfied being number two. Nobody is. And well, I shouldn't say nobody is, but I can't speak for everybody. But we're not satisfied with that, and we're just going to keep working to get people back.
I'm from the Today Show, also executive producer, also he's a philosopher. In case you didn't know this, he once told me never present a stationary target.
Yes.
What does that mean?
My grandfather actually told me that. He said, "Grandson, never present a stationary target." And that means if you stay still, people can get you. If you keep moving, it's hard to hit a moving. It's harder to hit a moving target because they're going to try. But at least if you're moving and theoretically moving forward, it's harder for them to stop you.
Juicy J from the group 3-6 Mafia, if you recall, they won the Oscar for "It's Hard Out There for a Pimp," the song they made for the movie Hustle and Flow. Out of Memphis, Tennessee, once told me something similar. His own version of it was, we were in a neighborhood that we shouldn't have been in, and he says, "Sway, a sitting duck gets plucked."
Yeah.
Similar, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Bing. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, you also said a clock.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, that means basically, you can. There are a lot of sources out there that keep saying, "Oh, this thing happened, and nobody listens to them because it doesn't come true. But eventually, it may, and then they go, "See, we told you." I mean, if you look when you're at the grocery store, how many times have you looked on those tabloids and Brad and Angelina are splitting up? Now, 18 children later, they're still together.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, maybe they will. And then one of those tabloids, see, we told you.
We told you. That's a good point. So some of the tabloids said that Al Roker threw Matt Lauer under the bus.
Well, I made a joke. We were doing something with some of the rowers from the Olympics, the female Olympics were there, and we ran some video. They have a tradition where they toss the coxswain into the river. And I said, well, that's kind of like our tradition, except here we throw you under the bus. Well, I've used that joke, and we actually went back and looked. I used that joke 27 times in 2 years because it's kind of funny. Yeah. Well, one website said, Al Roker was chastising Matt Lauer for the treatment of Ann Curry. Well, A, it wasn't true because Matt had nothing to do with Ann. And B, I would never do that. I would not do that to a colleague. And then later on, it was like, well, he's doing this and he's doing that. He's trying to sabotage the show in solidarity with Ann. And again, I love Ann, but by the same token, I'm not going to jeopardize the show that I've come to love and work on and been on for 17 years, and my career and my family's security to do something like that. Look, we like I said, Ann is still here. She's part of the family. There was nothing to defend, in that because Matt had nothing to do with that.
What's your relationship like with Matt Lauer?
I have a great relationship with him. I love the guy. He's a loyal friend, and I just think he's terrific.
This guy has had the same assistant I read for 15 years.
Yeah, Jackie. She's terrific, and again, they make what you read. The internet is a double-edged sword. In that you can find many great things. I keep telling my daughter, I've got a almost 14-year-old daughter, and they got to do homework, and I said, sweetie, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's in the paper doesn't mean it's true, or it's on TV doesn't mean it's true. You've got to check your sources and figure out what's real and what's not. And I feel badly in a way for kids coming up now because it is going to be harder for them to vet what's true and what's not because there are so many sources and some of them are solid and some of them less so.
Is the internet, in your opinion, the devil?
I don't think it's the devil because again. I can order, the 50th anniversary collection of the James Bond movies, and it'll be in my house in 24 hours. That's the internet.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.